Today, we're tackling something we all kind of experience, right? External motivation.
Yeah, that push from the outside.
Exactly. We hear so much about, being self-driven, but what about that incredible feeling, that boost when someone else really believes in you?
It's powerful.
So we're going to explore why this isn't just like a nice to have, but maybe something more fundamental about being human.
And we're drawing on that discussion from the Fuel for the Soul podcast with Alex and Jamie.
That's the one. They had a really fascinating chat about it. Our mission today is to, well, understand the real power of this external push.
And importantly, how to use it, right? How we can harness it effectively.
Yes, without becoming, totally dependent on it. Think of this as a shortcut to understanding why a little encouragement goes such a long way.
It's a good starting point because there's this common idea that, well, only self-motivation counts, that it's somehow weak to need outside help.
Yeah. But like Alex and Jamie discussed, haven't you ever felt completely stuck? Just stalled?
Oh, definitely. Like pushing a boulder uphill, as you said.
And then just one word, maybe.
Yeah.
Sincere comment from someone.
And suddenly you've got leverage. It just clicks.
Exactly. That's the feeling. This deep dive is about that very human experience.
So when we talk about external motivation, we mean, well, basically the drive or encouragement coming from outside ourselves, other people, maybe recognition.
Yeah, our environment even. Has there ever been a time for you when someone's belief just gave you this massive surge of energy?
For sure. Or maybe you were just, grinding to a halt on something, and a friend offers a suggestion, or just some support.
That's the core of it today. Why are those moments so potent? What does it tell us about maybe our need for connection, for that external fuel?
Well, it seems to tie right back into our social nature, doesn't it? Alex and Jamie started there. How this need is really rooted deep down.
In being social creatures.
Yeah. I mean, think about it from infancy. We're sort of wired to look for approval, for validation.
Like a baby learning to walk. That's a great example.
Exactly. They're not doing it in a vacuum. They're looking for the smiles, the claps.
Right, from parents or caregivers.
And Alex pointed out that external praise isn't just fleeting. It's not just, oh, that feels nice. It actually helps build their internal confidence, their sense of, I can do this.
Absolutely. And Jamie added that it's not just like superficial or purely emotional. It runs deeper. It's almost biological.
That drive for positive reinforcement, that little, you got this, it definitely doesn't stop after we learn to walk.
No way. Think about starting a business or learning some tough new skill.
Or even fitness goals, pushing your limits.
Yeah. Hearing someone genuinely say, hey, I see you working hard. I believe you can do it. It can be incredibly energizing.
And Alex made a really key point there. Needing that isn't some kind of personal failing. It's not weakness.
It's human.
Pretty much.
Part of our makeup.
Which brings up that interesting idea about perspective.
Ah, yes. Alex and Jamie talked about that too. How sometimes other people can see our potential, maybe our path forward, much more clearly than we can ourselves because we're too close to it.
Exactly. We're stuck in the weeds, maybe focusing on the problems. Jamie even shared that story about encouraging Alex with the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Recognizing that passion Alex had for deep conversations.
Which is kind of perfect, isn't it? A podcast about motivation, getting its own motivational push.
Huh. Yeah. But it really highlights the point. We get so wrapped up in our own challenges, our own perceived flaws, that we overlook our strengths.
Yeah.
Or the progress we are making.
So these external motivators, they can act like a mirror sometimes.
That's a good way to put it, reflecting our capabilities back at us, especially when, self-doubt is clouding our vision.
Think about times in your own life. Has someone's belief in you ever sort of unlocked something you hadn't seen in yourself?
Definitely. It happens. And what's really interesting is how that encouragement seemed to translate into actual, tangible drive.
You mean like energy?
Yeah. Jamie and Alex use that idea of an energy transfer. Motivation isn't purely mental, right?
No, it feels emotional, physical sometimes too. It's all connected. And they pointed out sometimes we have the capacity, the ability, but we just lack that initial spark.
Like Alex's analogy.
Yeah.
Jump-starting a car.
Exactly. The car's fine, the engine works.
But the battery's dead.
Right. You need that external connection, that jump lead, to get things moving again.
That makes so much sense. And Jamie then talked about team environments.
How one person's energy, their enthusiasm, can genuinely lift the whole group.
It's contagious, isn't it?
Very much so. And Alex also made the point that it doesn't have to be...
It makes you more likely to stick with it.
Exactly. You're more likely to stay committed. Alex used the gym buddy example.
Classic.
Yeah.
You won't skip that 6 a.m. workout if your friend is waiting,
Right. And Jamie mentioned mentors. That adds another layer.
because you respect their input and don't want to let them down.
Precisely. They've invested time, expertise. Plus, there's the whole inspiration angle they touched on.
Oh, yeah, just seeing other people do amazing things.
Or even just seeing them overcome their struggles, pursuing their dreams against the odds
That can be a massive motivator in itself. It kind of reminds you
of your own potential.
of what's possible.
Yeah. Think about people whose journeys have inspired you. Their stories often give you fuel, don't they?
They really do.
Hey.
But, and this is crucial, Alex and Jamie were really clear about finding a balance.
Okay, so it's powerful, but there's a but.
There's a but. Becoming totally dependent on external motivation, that can actually backfire. It can be counterproductive.
So it shouldn't replace your own internal drive. Exactly. It should be a supplement, a complement, not the main source.
I like Jamie's analogy for this, the seasoning.
Oh, yeah, that was good. External motivation enhances things, brings out the best.
But it's not the main ingredient. It can't be the whole meal.
Right. Your own internal desire, your why, that intrinsic motivation that needs to be the foundation.
So the real skill is learning how to use that external support strategically.
I think so. Using it for perspective when you're stuck, for that energy boost when you're flagging, for accountability.
While still holding on to your own agency, your ownership of the goal.
Yes, that's the sweet spot.
Okay, so let's try and pull together the key takeaways here, drawing from Alex and Jamie in our chat.
Right. So first off, external motivation is natural. It's powerful. And it stems from us being social beings.
Check. And it gives us valuable perspective, letting others see our potential.
Provides those crucial boosts of energy, like the jumpstart.
Fosters accountability, helps us stay on track.
And it's a readily available source of inspiration all around us.
And, importantly, seeking it isn't weakness, as Alex and Jamie stressed.
No, learning to harness it is actually a strength.
So, for everyone listening, think about how these ideas resonate with you. When has external encouragement really pushed you forward?
Yeah, reflect on that. And maybe think, how could you be more intentional about finding and using that support right now for whatever you're working towards?
Which leads us to maybe a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
Think about the people in your life who are your motivators, your cheerleaders. How can you cultivate those relationships, make them stronger, maybe more reciprocal?
And just as importantly, how do you nurture your own internal spark, that intrinsic drive,
Right, so that the external support acts like a catalyst, like a turbo boost.
rather than a crutch you become completely reliant on?
Exactly. So what's maybe one small concrete step you could take today, thinking about all this, toward one of your own goals?